Hello and welcome back to the You Becoming podcast. Today's episode is literally going to be freaking fire. This episode will change your life. I took this advice just over 2 years ago and literally life transformed. So if you want to keep living the way that you've been living, literally do not watch this video because you'll never be able to see a circumstance again where you remain the same after watching this. This is called the secondary gain. You may have heard of this before, but let me break it down in terms of self-esteem and current circumstances. The secondary gain, it's all the things that you're gaining from a crap situation. So let's talk about the emotional state that you put yourself in of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, my life isn't worth living, I have nothing to give. That emotional state, you are gaining something from it. What are you gaining? Because this is specific to you. What are you gaining from being in that victimized state? Because you are gaining something, or else you wouldn't keep doing it. And as well, don't get me wrong, we get stuck in our patterns, stuck in our ways, but I want this to be such a phenomenal journaling exercise for you, where you put down, what is my gain from having no self-esteem? What do I gain from having no respect for myself? That might be easy attention. I get to reward myself by staying in bed all day because I feel like shit, so I get to stay in bed. I bring you a reason to connect with people. There'll be so many things that you're gaining from being in that worthless state, that helpless state. And literally when you talk to people and they're in a crap situation and they're not getting themselves out of it and they say something random oh, it's just because they're a good person or they're a nice guy. You literally will not be able to sit and listen to that conversation without you thinking about, you're gaining something from this. And you can literally help them. Not that everybody wants to be helped right there on the spot. But you won't be able to see through the smoke and mirrors of people saying that they're so nice because they're doing something that's self-detrimental. Because they are literally gaining something by doing that. And so you can translate this exercise, FYI, into so many different realms. What am I gaining from this poverty-stricken state? What do you gain by being poor? There's so many gains. And this will probably turn into a bit of a gratitude exercise, but also an exercise where you're they're the things that are literally keeping me here. And it's interesting to see how little sometimes we need in order to sacrifice the rest of our needs just by this one thing. And sometimes you can feel so ridiculous that you're this is literally all it takes for me to remain in this situation. And you're no. And honestly, those feelings are amazing when your self-worth just goes to the sky. You're hell no, I ain't standing for this no more. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you'd like me to elaborate more on your secondary gain. There's a secondary gain in everything. Figure them out, because when you do, you'll be able to really identify what everything is, why you are staying in situations that you're staying in. Also, you're able to then identify the things that you want in your next situation. You're leaving this situation for what? We're leaving this to get more of something else or less of something else elsewhere. Also, I have just uploaded my guided regulation techniques for when you're feeling overwhelmed in the changing room and you're in that vibe of oh my god, nothing looks good, I feel like shit, blah blah blah, I'm worthless, blah. And they're specifically made for when you're in the changing room trying on clothes, because I think that's such a vulnerable practice to have with yourself, especially if you have low self-esteem. And so I think go ahead and check those out to see if that is something that you want to save for if you are a person that dysregulates when you're trying things on. That was a mouthful. That's today's words of wisdom. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked the new little mic. Let me know if you think there's a difference in quality. I'm so excited to be on this journey with you. Thank you so much for following and watching this video.